So, what exactly are you doing out here?
What? I'm fishing. You can tell I'm fishing, right?
Oh, right, duh, of course, sorry. It's very obvious, yes. So, have you caught anything?
No, never have, never will. No fish can live down here in this sludge.
If there aren't any fish in there, why are you fishing? What is that? What's going on?
Because I'm still working up the courage to drown myself.
Yikes, wow, okay. TMI, maybe, a little bit.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Jeremy's Point of View. Here in today's episode, I am doing a video game review for the new game called High on Life. Now, I want to start off by letting you guys know I just played this the last less than 24 hours. It came out last night on Xbox Game Pass, and that is what I've been playing it on. And so you guys are aware, I have been playing it on my Xbox Series X. And so far, I've been having a really fun time with this game. So before we dive into the full review and I break down everything for you guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. And please check out the description box below. In the description box, you guys can find my Teespring store. You can also find my sponsor for the channel, which is Arcadian. Arcadian makes fantastic quality goat's milk soaps, beard oils, bath bombs, body sprays. There's a men's line of product and a women's line, and if you use my code JeremyPOV10, you can save 10% off your order today. All that stuff is in the description box below. Now let's go ahead and dive into my High on Life review. Now, High on Life is a first-person shooter, and I'm going to start off by letting you guys know I'm having a lot of fun with this game. A lot of fun. But it's going to really depend as far as your experience with this game on how you feel about Justin Roiland, his brand of comedy, whether or not you like Rick and Morty, and stuff along that line. If you're not into that brand of comedy, if you're not into Justin Roiland, I don't think this is a game for you. This is a game meant for people that enjoy that brand of comedy, that are fans of the series Rick and Morty, which I am a fan. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I absolutely love that show. I love the comedy in that show. I love the wacky, crazy humor. I love and enjoy all of it, so this kind of game is right up my alley. Now, at the same time, I'm going to try to be a little bit more critical, and I'm going to try to separate myself from that and give you guys the positives and the negatives when it comes to this game. So like I said, I have been playing this game thus far on Xbox Series X through Game Pass, and I'll start off first. We'll talk about graphics. As far as the graphics of the game, it's got a pretty fun, as far as character scheme, stuff like that. It definitely feels like it belongs in the Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites kind of universe. It's very wacky, it's very far-fetched, it's very out there, the different characters that you will meet along the way. As far as graphical fidelity and stuff like that, on my Xbox Series X, it's been holding up really well. I have not gotten too many screen tears or cutouts or anything like that. It has been holding up pretty solid. As far as the conversations and stuff like that, the biggest thing I noticed was the faces. Wasn't always the best as far as lip movements, especially with the human characters. The human characters, when you're discussing or having conversations with your sister, you know, the face is a bit rigid, but overall it doesn't take you out of the game.
That's the next step, taking down their head officers.
Okay, you're positive that we're ready for that?
Yeah, whatever. Might as well try. But they won't be pushovers like Nine Talk, so, well, to be honest, I don't care if you live or die. You know that. You know my whole deal. But, hey, it's your funeral. So go check out the Bounty 5000 whenever you're ready.
And as far as the more cartoony characters, the way they talk, I mean, it fits right into the scheme and into the cartoons and stuff like Solar Opposites and things along that line. So I didn't have any issue with that. And like I said, didn't have a lot of issues playing it on the Xbox Series X. As far as freezing, screen tearing, anything like that, I didn't run into much. I didn't have any game-breaking bugs. I didn't have anything that stopped me or caused me to have to reboot. I know some people, I've looked into a few reviews before making my own, and I know some people have had some issues where they couldn't get a door to open into another section or things like that. I didn't run into any of that. The game has been working nice and smooth for me thus far, and, you know, I got no complaints about that. Moving on from graphics, I want to go into probably the biggest positive this game has going for it, and that would be the sound. The amount of writing and detail that has been placed into this game is unbelievable. It's really the strong suit of the game. Like I said, if you're not into Rick and Morty or Justin Roiland's brand of comedy, this might not be for you. But for somebody like me, I absolutely enjoy it. And to see the extent and the amount of work that has been put into the writing of this game is just, it's unbelievable. There's so many small conversations. Like if you just try to speed through the game, there's so much there that you can miss. There's so many little conversations going on within the universe, people interacting with each other, that you can just kind of walk up upon and sit there and listen for a couple minutes. One funny thing I noticed is when you're in your living room, and if you look at the TV, Tammy and the T-Rex, which is a ridiculous old movie, is playing on the TV. And I sat there and literally you can watch, I don't know exactly how much of the movie, but I sat there and watched a large chunk of it, which I found absolutely hilarious. But there's so many random characters, just people in the world that you can go up to, and there's multiple things that they'll say to you, and it's that brand of Justin Roiland comedy, but you can tell like so much effort, detail has gone into building this world, making it feel alive, and building on this really off, crazy, wacky brand of comedy. And if you really are somebody that loves, like I said, Rick and Morty, that brand of comedy, you're going to want to take your time through this game. You're going to want to kind of explore a little bit and see all these different conversations. It's a lot of fun. Also, as far as the writing, your gun, there's multiple different weapons that you will get within the game. They all talk to you, and I thought it was something that would get a bit annoying and tedious throughout the game, but I found that it really didn't drive me nuts. I found it continuously funny. Each weapon has a different personality. You know, the first gun you get is a little bit more of the normal one, if you can say that, whereas once you get your Knifey, he is an absolute psychopath.
All right, here's the product. A genuine talking knife. I gotta be honest with you, he's a real piece of shit.
He's extremely violent. He basically only talks about wanting to kill people in very disturbing ways.
Fuck you, I'm gonna carve out your anal cavity. Gonna make it 3 times as big. Your shit's just gonna drop right out of there.
So, like I said, the writing is just, it's unbelievable. The weapons are hilarious. And if you're somebody that wants to tone that down, there is a setting in the game where you can go in and you can tone down, or even, I think, turn off the amount of talking the guns do and stuff like that. But for me, I absolutely loved it, kept me entertained. And what's even funnier, and what, like I said, there's so much detail into this, you can go into all these different conversations, and if you have a different gun up, the conversation and the experience that you have with the game changes with each one. Each gun will react and has different things to say in each and every conversation and each and every experience. And that's what I mean when I say such a positive in this game is the writing, because you can just see that they spent so much time. There's so much detail and intricacy placed into it to make sure every single gun has lines for every single segment and all these different characters and all these different jokes. It's just mind-blowing to see how much love and effort was placed into that portion of the game. As far as the gunplay, things of that nature, each gun has a feeling of uniqueness. Each gun has a special feature, whereas the first gun you get has a glob shot, which shoots this giant glob at the enemies and can kind of bounce them up in the air, and it can help you when it comes to large crowds of enemies, kind of getting them under control so then you can shoot at them and kill them. Different weapons, there's ones with the second gun you get has a time stopping power. You shoot it and it'll stop time, which then gives you the ability to use it to explore different pieces and locations within different levels that you couldn't have explored before. So there is some ability within that where you can go back and explore, or go back through maps that you went through to end up getting to different locations and finding hidden chests and stuff like that, so you can collect money or find different things. And each weapon really does have a unique feel, and it is a lot of fun to use the different intricacies and the different specialties each one has within the battles. It can change them. You can find which one works best for you in certain scenarios, and it does give you a lot of enjoyment throughout the game as you slowly build up these different weapons and different abilities. And there's mods you can add on, and there's quite a bit of customization. Now I'm going to say this game is not a game that is like revolutionizing first-person shooters. It's not. It's not that kind of a game. It knows what it is. It knows what it's going for, which is this crazy, wacky, off-brand comedy story. And it knows that, you know, people want to have fun with the guns, with the weapons, and that's really where it bases its storyline and everything off of. Is just the gunplay, having fun with it, the storyline being hilarious, offbeat, and, you know, giving you just a fun, sit down, you know, good 8 to 10 hour experience. And I had an absolute blast doing it all the way through. As far as the boss enemies, you know, a few of them were a little janky, a little bit weird in the execution, and I'm not going to act like they were super difficult, but I did die a few different times figuring out, you know, how best to tackle a certain boss or what order. And in the beginning, you know, you get 2 bounty hunts that you can go on, and picking which one. I chose Douglas first, and there's a lot of enjoyment within it. But like I said, this game is not breaking the mold. It's not revolutionizing first-person shooters. What I do think this game does, though, really, really well, like I said, is the storyline, and it is the comedy within it and the amount of detail, love that's gone into that. And I know I said that already. I need to repeat myself on it because that is really where this game shines, and it shines well above what other games do. I mean, just the amount of love and detail that's been placed into it, into the story, into the immersion of the world is just, it's light years above what a lot of titles do nowadays. And that's really what this game's got going for you. As far as any negatives that I've picked up as far as this game is concerned, I will say a lot of the enemy AI type can be a bit of cannon fodder. They're very easy typically to get through. The bosses aren't super difficult, but there is different fun ways and challenges and how to take them on. And like I said, it's not the most challenging game. And it is a pretty quick game. You can get through it in a decent pace if you're pushing through and you just want to get through it in a weekend. But what I would recommend ultimately for anybody that wants to give this game a try is that you do take your time. You do embrace the wacky story. You do explore a bit more and look into these extra conversations that are going on and enjoy this love that has been placed into the game. And as far as replayability, I definitely think there is some replayability. I mean, once you know what you're doing and stuff, it's going to be pretty easy to go back through it. But like I said, each gun has its own personality. You can go through different things with a different gun in different instances. And it can be a lot of fun to try to tackle things in a different way, to use each weapon's special abilities in a different manner. And I just, like I said, I've had such a great time playing High on Life. I think this is a really, really solid game. It is a lot of fun. And ultimately for me, that's what matters most, is am I having fun with it? Not every game that we sit down and play has to be the most revolutionizing, most amazing experience. It doesn't have to be the next Halo. It doesn't have to be the next The Last of Us. We want games that we can sit down and enjoy and have fun and get immersed in the world. And especially with this, I am laughing throughout the entire thing. The insane over-the-top stuff that is said within it, I can't say it enough. If you don't like that brand of comedy, this isn't going to be for you. You're going to not like it. I've seen some reviews where people are like, you know, criticizing the amount of F-bombs within the game and the vulgarity, but that's what this brand of comedy is. You need to know what you're getting into when you go into this kind of a game. But for me, I've had a fantastic time, an absolute blast. If you're a fan of Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites, stuff like that, the Justin Roiland brand of comedy, you're going to have a good time with this. The mechanics work well. The different guns are fun. The graphics overall are solid. It played very well on my Xbox Series X. I don't know exactly how well it will play on the Xbox Series S. I saw a few complaints as far as that, but I do know there's a day one patch that came out, so hopefully that has tightened up a few things. But I did not experience anything that took me out of the game, anything that was so game-breaking that I couldn't sit and have fun and enjoy it the entire time through. And in this day and age, getting a game that comes out that has the polish, that has the detail, that has the love put into it is something that I think we need to, give it its praise for. Because a lot of games come out incomplete nowadays. A lot of games come out and we've got to wait for tons of patches to fix them. And some games it takes 3 months to 12 months later before they're really where they should have been when they came out. And that is not this game. This game is ready to play right now. You're going to sit down. You're going to have a hell of a time playing it. And it's a blast. So once again, like I said, my recommendation is if you have Game Pass, definitely play this game. I don't know if I would pay full price for this game. This might be a game where I'd say wait for it to go on sale. But if you can cough up the money for a month's worth of Game Pass, 100%. This is one of the best things Game Pass has put out this year, and I definitely think it is worth your time as we're heading into this week and this weekend. If you get a chance and you want to take some time Saturday and Sunday to play, you're going to have an absolute blast with this game. So that is my recommendation. I absolutely had a blast with High on Life. And I want to know what you guys ultimately think. Have you played the game yet? If you have, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how your experience overall was with the game. If you haven't played it yet and you're thinking about it, once again, I highly recommend that you give it a shot and you jump into it. And you will know within the first hour if this game is a game that you're going to enjoy. If you're going to appreciate the comedy that is within it. And if you're a Rick and Morty fan, you should have an absolute hell of a crazy time enjoying this game. So those are my thoughts on High on Life. Definitely gets my recommendation. And you guys, once again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the description box for all the good shit I got going on. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Jeremy's Point of View. Until next time, peace.